Okay, so at its recent Ignite conference, Microsoft unveiled some stuff that is, frankly, a massive deal. It's all aimed at solving one of the biggest headaches for businesses everywhere, that ever-growing, super complex cloud bill. So today, we're going to break down exactly how they plan to use AI to finally get it under control. You know this question. For so many companies, this is the million-dollar or sometimes multi-million-dollar question, right? That monthly cloud invoice can feel like a runaway train, just gathering speed and getting more complicated every single month. Well, Microsoft is betting big that AI is the conductor that can finally get that train back on the tracks. So to really get why Microsoft's new tools are so important, we first have to appreciate the scale of the problem they're trying to solve. And it really all comes down to the huge challenge of managing modern cloud costs. To deal with all this chaos, this whole discipline called FinOps has popped up. Now, the easiest way to think about it, it's like having a dedicated financial advisor just for your cloud. It's a whole practice, a culture, all focused on one thing, making sure every single dollar you spend in the cloud is actually delivering value without any of those nasty surprises when the bill arrives. So how is Microsoft injecting AI directly into this FinOps world? Well, let's get into their first massive announcement and meet your brand new AI Copilot. This right here is the big idea behind the new Azure Copilot Optimization Agent. It's what we call an Agentic AI, which is just a fancy way of saying it doesn't just show you data, it actually takes initiative. Forget those passive assistants. This is way more like a super smart, tireless intern. It digs through all your cloud usage data, finds exactly where you're wasting money, and then, this is the magic part, it actually writes up the solution and just hands it to you for a simple yes or no. So, how's it do it? It's a brilliantly simple three-step dance. First, it analyzes everything, and I mean everything, your costs, your usage patterns, even your carbon footprint. Then, based on that super deep analysis, it recommends very specific, concrete changes. And finally, it gets the tools ready for you to act on those recommendations like almost instantly. And this is where it gets really cool. I mean, this isn't just surface-level advice. As you can see, the agent pulls together cost and carbon data so you can optimize for your budget and your sustainability goals. It runs this deep analysis comparing different service options, different SKUs, and clearly explains why it's making a recommendation. But here's the absolute game changer. It generates the actual code, the CLI or PowerShell scripts that you need to make the change. This just radically shrinks the time it takes to go from an idea to actual savings in your pocket. Okay, so having one AI agent working for you? That's awesome. But what happens when you unleash, like, dozens or even hundreds of them across your entire company? All of a sudden, you need control. You need some governance. So what's Microsoft's answer to that? This is where the Microsoft Foundry control plane comes in. And honestly, the best way to think of it is as mission control for your entire fleet of AIs. It's the central hub that gives you that enterprise-grade compliance and makes sure every single agent is working safely, securely, and playing strictly by the rules that you set. You know, this whole thing is built on trust, and it stands on three main pillars. First up, security and identity. Every single action an AI takes can be traced to a specific intra-agent ID. Think of it like a unique digital name tag. No anonymous robots running around here. Second, behavioral controls. You set the guardrails, you set the policies, and the AI is hardwired to stay inside them. And third, observability. You get total visibility into what your AI fleet is up to, and crucially, exactly how much it's costing you. Now, optimizing your cloud infrastructure, that's one thing. But what about the cost of running the AI models themselves? Because let's be real, these powerful models are not free. So that brings us to the next big question. How do we make AI not just smarter, but just fundamentally cheaper to use? Well, say hello to the model router. It's a beautifully simple idea that really shows the next level of financial thinking here. Think of it as a smart dispatcher for all of your AI requests. See, not every task needs the most powerful, most expensive AI model. This tool makes sure you're not using a sledgehammer to crack a nut, which is absolutely key for getting the unit economics of AI right. And the best part is, you get to pick the strategy. You can set it to cost mode for those high-volume, repetitive tasks where every single penny counts. Or for those really critical, complex jobs that have to have the absolute best result, you can just flip it over to quality mode. And of course, for everything in between, there's a balanced mode. It's all about perfectly matching the right tool and the right cost to the right job. But, I mean, how on earth do you even budget for all this? AI usage can be incredibly spiky and unpredictable. And that's where the new Agent Pre-Purchase Plan, or P3, comes into the picture. It's a way for companies to get discounts based on commitment, turning what could be a really chaotic expense into simple, predictable savings. And this comparison really says it all, doesn't it? Before P3, trying to budget for AI services was this complex, unpredictable nightmare. Now, with the P3 plan, you get a single, unified pool of funds with a predictable savings rate. That just makes financial planning for your whole AI strategy so much simpler. So let's just pull the lens back for a second and look at the really big picture. What is all of this, the autonomous agent, the control plane, the smart router, what does it all actually mean for the future of how we work? This quote from the FinOps Foundation really just nails it. These tools aren't just a random collection of features. No, they represent a fundamental strategic shift. Microsoft is building a future where cloud operations are no longer just managed by people, but are actively and autonomously optimized by AI. That's the key takeaway here. We are moving toward a faster, cheaper, and more efficient self-driving cloud. And that leads us to the final and I think most interesting question. We now have AI agents that can analyze, recommend, and act to manage incredibly complex technical stuff, all on their own. So if this level of intelligent automation is here for the cloud, what other complex business operations do you think are next on the list?